What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part, I want to say 12-ish of my Total War Warhammer 3 Elspeth von Draken Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, our glorious mechanical army with those land ships and tanks took on a pile of mammoths belonging to Wulfric the Wanderer and absolutely obliterating them. You would think that giant piles of monsters would be really great against these things, but I think that is only true if the monsters are actually fast enough to catch them, as the land ships are fairly quick with that 55 move speed. Perhaps if it was a pile of dragons that the land ships couldn't run away from, then it would be real threatening, and perhaps we'll run into something along those lines if we fight against the Dark Elves. Now, what the heck happened here? I didn't even notice what was going on in Nagarond. Huh. Looks like Sigvald's doing really well. I wonder why. I noticed that he's been doing very well in all of my campaigns, and perhaps better than he used to do. Quite interesting. Quite interesting. And, oh, it's probably a combination of him and the Drowned. Huh. I didn't see the Drowned doing particularly well in the other campaign, and I do think Eltharion is probably going to rip them apart. But anyway, leaving all that aside, this turn we have approximately nothing to do, so we're going to end the turn, and we're going to hopefully proceed to grabbing Montana with Elspeth, and keeping our land ship pile on the way to Packy Bay. Go. Alrighty. I hope I didn't forget anything. I also see Kygas/Danny Boy running around in the background, and I see Urson Revivalists are still alive, so hopefully we get to them. Though once again, they're not doing so bad in this campaign. Peace treaty with the Drowned? No. You can feel free to set your armies to sea, and we'll see them here. And nobody will attack us this turn? Lovely. Alright, ally mobilizes, ally begins construction, wild hunt begins, it'll do that. Disciplinarian, and MORGHUR didn't run. Fantastic. I was worried that he might. Unlock elector count state troops. Good. Let's get to the Stir River Patrol, meaning we can get rid of the first of the crossbows, and get the first of the River Patrol in here. Crossbows. Yes, you do fire damage, Emperor's Wrath. Oh, and we also have the Gunderman's Surefires now. Though I have to wonder, is there any point to this unit anymore? A lot of the, I mean, they just feel so heavily outclassed by Ironsides now, and even basic Ironsides. I mean, these guys' missile strength is only 28, and their armor is only 20, and 28, 25, and they're fairly expensive. Look at the Ironsides here. And 60 armor, 41 and 34 melee attack and defense, and then 68 missile strength. Granted, the missile strength is higher because they recruited at rank 9. And they have a tiny bit less range, but yeah, I'm not sure that there's any point to these guys. If you want something with more range, you can just build long rifles instead. The Stir River Patrol does, however, fill a niche. A, because it does fire damage, and B, because it has the suppression ability on them, which is, yeah, which would be quite nice. Especially in combination with a few other things. So yeah, let's get the Stir River Patrol in here. And we'll use, yeah, combination of dazed and confused, I mean suppressed, would be nice. I'm also now wondering, what if we were to make an ice and fire army by putting some ice guard in there and making the frostbite combine with all of that stuff? Huh. That would be a little bit of a different take on the fire army that I normally do, but they wouldn't get benefits from the fire wizard, unfortunately, which might be a slight problem. Reichland, we don't care about your outposts. Karazakarak, we definitely do, though I don't think we need tier 3 at the current time. Well, let's keep going. Anyway, Elspeth, you're about to strike, so we will do so in a second. I just want to see what else is going on. Baldric, I would like you to land at Packy Bay.
Imperial Scholar.
Oh, yeah, Imperial Scholar. Do we need Boris to do anything else, or is he done now? As in, I've been wanting to not pay for his army anymore. I think he might be done. I mean, well, can we trust the Ice Court here? They are not yet at war with Malice, but by the time they are, we could probably sail up here with Baldric and possibly have taken care of Kinquata and Bellicor as well. Yeah, I think, Boris, I think you're good now. We're going to delete this army. They've been around for a long time, but we will probably bring Boris back here to lead a different stack. You know, one with not basic Imperial troops that are all tier 1. For now, this is going to give us a solid 3,200 gold per turn, which is quite a bit. It's quite a bit indeed. And we do have other armies to build after all. Zintler, go. No. Oh, right. Packy Bay is the broken settlement. You can't land here even though... Okay, yeah, fine. You know, I think this gets me every single time. I always forget that Packy Bay is broken. There is another broken settlement like that somewhere. I don't remember where it is, though. Although maybe it's on purpose. Maybe it's Packy Bay in the sense that you need to really know your way through, as it's surrounded by ice and you just can't land at the port. Maybe only the Norskins can. Who knows? Anyway, let's say that's the reason. Montenas, it's time, or Montena, it's time for you to go. There's some upgrades, but frankly, I don't think Elspeth needs them. At least not for this fight. Dirthu, you still here? Yes. Just gotta make sure we take Magritta before you do. Go.
I foresee great suffering.
And we will obviously fight this. We got some Bestigors. We got MORGHUR himself, who is an absolute issue, especially in close combat, with his regeneration, his Staff of Ruinous Corruption, and his Mortis Engine effect, in addition to that Spirit Essence of Chaos, doubling up on the Chaos spawn spawning. And Giant Manticore might be a little bit annoying, but I think that we should be able to take care of it all. Standard of Discipline. I don't know why I keep this in this army. We should put it somewhere more useful. Put it on, I don't know, the middle unit of Amethyst Ironsides for now, and go.
Before me I see a host of souls for the taking. But first, we must break their bodies and set their spirits free.
Well, I'd say we're going to break their bodies and their spirits alike. Unfortunately for MORGHUR, even though he gets a really cool map with this great herdstone here, like a really nice map. I love all the chains heading into the sky and just the atmosphere of this map in general. And the herdstones look pretty great as well, especially since you don't see these that often, do you? Yeah. A lovely, lovely map. What's not so lovely is that it seems to have the perfect, and I mean perfect location for an artillery battery. Two big old mountainsides and a sort of cleft within the mountains like this, and it's completely protected by cliffside, meaning the enemy can't go up here. We are completely safe, basically, from 3 out of 4 directions for this artillery battery. So it sets up here while Elspeth moves in and gets ready to kill off that feral Manticore, though it looks like a couple of spells, and the Manticore is already gonna book it on out of there. Not to worry, Elspeth can continue with a little bit of spell work and just cause havoc to the enemy army, as she always does, while our artillery units provide plenty of support. Now, obviously, this is definitely the position that we would take here, realistically speaking, lorefully speaking, to bombard the place into submission with artillery fire. And that's what we're gonna do. There's no way the enemy can do anything whatsoever about this, because with one direction being the only way they can attack, and the fact that they have to go all the way out of their settlement and all the way around all this to get at our artillery battery, all while being hit by artillery and by those Hawkland long rifles and harassed from the skies by Elspeth's dragon and spellwork, and the fact that we have plenty of cavalry to react to them if they do so, even though they're not. This map, really not so great for the AI. Oh well, sorry MORGHUR. You really should have picked a better place to raise your herdstone. Or at the very least, I don't know, set up an ambush where in that particular location. Anyway, Hawklanders and artillery alike still sniping away as they do, dropping Bestigors now, which is a pretty darn valuable target to do this to. And it does take them a while to drop them. I still would be really interested to make a kill comparison between the Hawklanders and the long rifles rather, and the Warplug Jezzails of the Skaven. And just to see who performs better kill-wise. I would feel like it should be the Skaven, A, because Warpstone bullets should hit a lot harder. And also, I'm pretty sure the Skaven should have a bit more range on them as well. But in terms of pure kill counts, it would be an interesting comparison to make. Though it's, I don't know, not impossible perhaps, but very difficult to get a Skaven ally and Skaven units. Man, I gotta do some campaigns at some point where I try to make unusual allies, like Order-Tide allying with Skaven stuff, or things like that. Generally, the best way to do it is wait until those factions are at war with like a dozen factions, and then declare war on them all for a defensive alliance of some kind. And thereby counteract the aversion. Granted, this will make all of your usual allies just despise you because they usually hate those factions, but anyway. Anyway, artillery continues to fire, Elspeth continues dropping purple suns down upon the enemies. The desync, of course, is still here. This is still a desync battle, so it will cause variations in what happens, but by the looks of it, it's still relatively similar, especially because, I mean, our army isn't really moving or being controlled, and while Elspeth is being given orders, it doesn't matter that some of the units aren't in the places where they should be, because she can simply still fly over to them. And the artillery can keep firing as long as they're in range, so none of that really matters. Anyway, the firing will continue. Looks like this Tuskor chariot is nearly done so, and another volley from those Hawklanders will probably put them to rout. You guys were supposed to volley on them as soon as I said that. Are you gonna ignore them? They're right there. An easy target. They're also kind of big. Come on, there we go. And chariot 1 down. Couple more shots, and another chariot will blow up. And it looks like the unit will book it on out of there as well. Very nice. Balance of power at about 75% in our favor now, and soon we'll be ready to move a few units to help clean up what's left of this poor faction. Not a great last stand for them, as they can do nothing about this, but blowing up the beastmen with superior firepower and imperial ingenuity is definitely the right move, especially for Nuln. Alright, I think at this point we've seen a decent amount of the bombardment. Can speed it up a little bit. Elspeth's gonna drop a few more hits. They're gonna get a laser breath on MORGHUR, but as we can see, it only took about 10% of his HP. Only about 500 damage, and she also dropped a Spirit Leech on him at the same time, so that was the damage combined. We should definitely look into saving the Spirit Leeches for the for large units, Giants and Manticores and whatnot, as it's wasted on infantry lords like that. And their hitbox is looking too small. Anyway, Purple Sun together with the Burning Head, dishing out some damage through Gores and Centaurs alike. While Elspeth continues to do her work, she's going to ignore MORGHUR as he'll just regenerate that 500 HP of damage that he took, but we've got our cavalry army and getting ready to move in now. Time for them to get a little bit of play before the battle ends, so let's get them in there. Bruckner is still waiting for his cavalry army, but we're going to start building that in a turn or two now that our economy is looking pretty good, and now that we've got new territories in the form of the Border Princes to fund the new armies. Alright, and you know what? I actually really like the way the Royal Altdorf Griffites look with the Knights of the Black Rose and all the Nuln units in general. Because they have enough gold and red elements on them, the Royal Altdorf Griffites don't stand out despite the different color scheme. And they just look like an elite unit that should belong with this army. You gotta love a color-coordinated force. Alright, if anything, Bruckner is the only one that looks too different, because he doesn't have enough black and red on him, too much gold. Alright, 40k Emperor approved. Anyway, speed it up again for a few seconds as we charge the Royal Altdorf Griffites and Bruckner himself through this Gore herd here. And they can get in on this and do a little bit of melee combat. Looks like a giant and some units of Gors and Ungors are going to move in. We got our own troops moving in to back us up as well as the Knights of the Black Rose move into the fray. At this point in the game, the giant was actually dead, or should have been dead, and the reason it isn't dead here is because of the desync. I also believe that this battle was going on here rather than here when I was playing it, as we can clearly see by virtue of the Soul Blight not being quite in the right location, which is interesting. Slightly shifted perhaps, and the presence of the giant is odd, but I believe the giant was knocked down by the artillery pieces at this point, and for whatever reason they didn't knock it down in the desync. Not because of his different location, I'm sure. That said, we are still moving out here. The Outriders still have a little bit to do, as some enemy Chaos Spawn are going to move out of the barricade and be absolutely riddled with gunfire from those Outriders, who generally do pretty good work. There we go. Massive damage to those Chaos Spawn, who are down to about 15% HP, and will be ripped apart by a combination of artillery as well as those Outriders. Knights of the Black Rose, together with the Royal Altar of Griffites, continue to push forth into the enemy Gors and Ungors, though I believe the desync will cause the battle to end relatively shortly, as the battle didn't actually last much longer than this. And it will just suddenly end. Bruckner looks like he's trapped in the middle of a pile of Gors and Ungors here, but that's fine. I'm sure he... Huh? What the heck? Is that a Knight of the Black Rose without his mount? Wait, what? Well, that was interesting. He's dead now, but that was interesting. Wait, what the heck? Whoa, 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 what happened here? What is happening? Did this unit's mounts all disappear? These guys are still here. Wait, is this a bug, or did they add a thing where mounts can die and units can revive as infantry now? Is that a thing? Because this is news to me. Oh, but it's looking pretty cool, even if it is a bug. Certainly reminds me of the SFO dismount ability in them. And man, they look fantastic as infantry as well. Yeah, you know what SFO is going to do? Definitely, or even without knowing, they're definitely going to allow for a melee variant, or a melee infantry variant of the Knights of the Black Rose. I mean, I suppose they could do the dismount thing for them as well, like the Bretonnians, but, well, personally I would prefer just a regular infantry variant. Anyway, ooh, that's a nice horn. I didn't even notice that. That's a very nice horn. Yeah, once again, very cool map for the Beastmen. Sadly, the Beastmen aren't done. MORGHUR will actually break with full HP as the rest of his army is shattered, and the battle is ours. Alright, that just felt mean. It just felt mean. And not as mean, perhaps, as what we did to Archaon in the Malachi campaign, but still pretty up there. Yeah. Sorry, MORGHUR. For some reason, I thought he was unbreakable and thus would stay until the end of the battle. But anyway, we had such a perfect position as an artillery army, it would be so weird not to take advantage of it, so... we did. There will be more field battles, I'm sure. Occupy the place, get the defeat trait for MORGHUR. That 15% missile resistance is great on pretty much every single lord that isn't a ground infantry lord. We're also going to temporarily, briefly summon Aldebras Otlerman. It doesn't really matter who. We're going to send you to Bilbali. Just before, for example, the Wood Elves move over there and grab it before we do, while Elspeth grabs Magritta and Nuka here. Once again, Durthu will probably move, but we should be able to beat him to all those places, though we don't know where the other Wood Elf faction is. Eben Pfeiffer, you can keep moving, sir. I'm starting to wonder whether it's actually worth it to... What I was going to do is going to put the more rockets into an army, and then very slowly ferry them to Elspeth. But even if she teleports all the way up here, for example, to kill off the Lorelorn Wood Elves, it's kind of far. Well, let's face it. Which makes me kind of disinclined to do it. And maybe we should just outright delete them. I mean, for the auto-resolves for now, especially until Ulrika is here, perhaps not, but there's a good reason to. You can't channel because you're in the Chaos Wastes, and you'll just damage your army and attrition that way, so then just move towards the Forest of Decay. And, oh, well. Kygast, are you going to perhaps defend the Tower of Flies? That would be interesting. We're not keeping any of these territories, and frankly, they'll rebel themselves, and hopefully we can trade them before they do, but, well, we're on the way. Danny, we're well on the way. Where is Ulrika? We still need to move her. Should be around here somewhere. There she is. Join your pals, would you?
Ulrika Magdava.
Alright, should be able to get there in the next few turns. Hans Beckberg and a Richter... Wait, not Richter. You're supposed to assassinate a hero belonging to the Broken Axe if you can actually catch them before the faction is destroyed, because it's a really nice reward if you can actually succeed. Andreas Ludenhauer, you, with your Hochland scopes, were supposed to travel all the way to join Godric and Felix's army, which is a long way away. Oh, you know what, you can land at Erengrad. And then trade him for that Mechanist Engineer, unless we can get another Mechanist Engineer. And we could just start milling through these guys, but I'm disinclined to waste the money at the current time. Hans Beckberg, you're supposed to go to Nuln to join the Fire Army. And Waldemar Aramvoldus, so you're a Fire Wizard, and you're supposed to go to join the Fire Army as well. Now, the Fire Army will probably not be led by this guy, as the Hochland scopes are wasted on an army that has no need for them. We'll use another Master Engineer, let's say the Confident one. Let's say the Confident one, to lead this particular stack. I mean, we could use Zintler with his Master Builder. The thing is, it's just that he's got 2 points already invested in the campaign skills. Though I suppose we could ignore that, and let me just see here. So he has 2 points in the campaign skills, 1 in Route Marcher, and then presumably 1 in Leader of Renown. We could ignore that and then eventually get him a Lightning Strike. And at least that way we'll start at level 7, not a level 1. Fine, you know what? Let's use Zintler. Constructor Zintler has grown tired of constructing things and has decided to burn everything instead. We could also even reset him, but for 1 point, I think it's not a big enough deal to bother with. Yeah, you are going to lead this army, and I want to summon you now so that Andreas Meyer can transfer the troops over to you next turn, and then you can start moving. Alright. That looks good to me. Let's do buildings, and then let's continue. Now, okay, let's start from the bottom again. Irana Mountains, Montana, you don't need it. Actually, that's not true. Weaving House and Growth Building, although everything here will need to be walled up as well. And I kind of don't like how it's now not contiguous with the rest of our empire. Everything is nice and contiguous all the way through. Oh, actually, no, it isn't, because Blackfire Pass is currently held by a combination of us and by Averland. Kill Averland. No, we're good. Let's see. Western Border Princes. Ooh, lots of stuff to be building. Where do we need to set up? Wait. The defenses, more importantly. Myrmidons is probably the most likely to get attacked, followed by Argalis or Verdanos. Let's do Argalis. No, you know what? Let's do Verdanos because it doesn't even have the defenses yet. All right, and then farm there. Fortify the Border Princes so that Elspeth can leave. Let's upgrade the Sulzenmund city. Eastern Border Princes, you can get the Salt. Solland. Nothing there, although keep building the foundry, and that's all the money. Good. Well, not good, but, you know. Anyway, let's see what we got in terms of Diplo. Ironbrow's expedition at war with the court of Libaras, but like in us, I fear that they're dead since they're down to 4 settlements, and thus it would serve no purpose in allying with them. Maybe they'll get confederated by a more important faction right now. Sorry, Thorek, but the age of, it is the age of innovation, now that Malachi has arrived. Next up, we got Tex. Now, we did just get the oh. I wanted the Sutzens guns, damn it. Alright, let's cancel the upgrade at Sulzenmund, which gives us 6.8k. And then we can cancel something else. Something not important. Solland, where are you? We'll cancel the foundry there. Which gives us the ability to instead research Machines of the Empire as what. Ooh. I hope that this isn't bugged. So we have the Citizen's Guns and the Emperor's Wrath, but the Emperor's Wrath is already available to us and will be available again in, what is it, 1 turn? 3 turns. Hopefully by researching that, it won't once again reset this, because it thinks that we just got it, as that would be quite unfortunate. But I guess we're about to find out. It'll only take a turn to research, and that turn is now. Go. Alright, Kygast, are you gonna move out here, buddy? No, you're gonna move to Volcano's Heart to defend it. I would have actually preferred that you defended the Terror of Flies, as Volcano's Heart is a main settlement? Is it? Because if I'd prefer to fight a field battle. Thorgrim, join war against Clan Moors. No. Later, perhaps. But no for now. Just keep building those thunder barges, my friend. Keep moving towards them. Ally mobilizes. Ambusher discovered Zatan the Black. That's kind of far from us. Hexoatl, Rite of Awakening performed. Clan Moor is destroyed. Perhaps we should have joined the war against them after all. Well done. Well done, sir. You've been a very nice ally. Oh, he's going to turn to Scarbrand. We need to forget him too. Anyway, Helmut Forbach is ready. Technology researched and Winds of Pain. Sure. All right, now. I want to check the Emperor's Wrath. That was so too. Okay, let's go down back. We got 7 turns until the next Stir River Patrol, and we got a Citizen's Guns available already. Take out the War Wagons. I'm sure I remembered why I put the cannons are going to be replaced by flame cannons, yes. Only 2? Probably do more than that.
A change of
Actually, no, we got 2 flame cannons and 2 iron drakes. That's why those are in there, yes. Citizen's Guns, thank you. And you can grab this army. With the exception of the Demigriff Knights. Lovely. Hans Beckberg, you can move into the army. A warrior priest to join the fiery units because he can use soul fire. And then you can go over here as well. The question is, I was originally going to send that fire army to burn down the orcs. That's no longer needed. I mean, you can send them north. We could send them... Probably not. I mean, I was going to send Elspeth to fight Scarbrand in particular, and there isn't much point in sending a fire army to fight Chaos Dwarfs. We could send them this way, but then they'll be stuck fighting Chaos Dwarfs who have a ton of fire resistance, which ain't great. I'd rather send the land ships this way, I think. Frankly, the contraptions of the Empire versus the contraptions of the Chaos Dwarfs sounds like a pretty fun time to me, so, yeah. Oh my lord. Those poor war wagons. I hope the Auto Resolve doesn't kill them again. They've been doing a really good job. I'll even occupy this since we're trading into our allies. We got a Helm of Discord and a Hedge Wizard out of it though, so I won't complain about that. Alrighty. Place Serena Catron, kill off Wolfric. Don't make us go over there. Although we probably will have to go to Conquata to take this stuff. I wish it wasn't, well, I mean, I was about to say, I wish it wasn't red, the uninhabitable climate, but the jungle in Conquata is green, so we will have some advantage out of it, and I believe we can take it to tier 4, which ain't too bad, or tier 3 actually, but it ain't too bad. Hey, you're going to Magritta, and you can build the Arch Ecclesiastium. Colonize, and expensively, but colonize Bilbali as well. Just gotta be careful about all of these places, getting upset about the whole corruption thing. Alright, you should no longer be needed now. Delete. You're costing us too much money. Bilbali, immediate upgrade for you. And let's get the money up and running here as well, and immediately go into Council of Burgomeisters. We'll need to reduce the chaos corruption, but while Elspeth is here, that's fine. We will also want to build a garden in Morr at Sartosa, as it's a good place, as well as Akendorf. These are good places to be able to teleport to. But I think we can wait because it's kind of costly. Now, Volcano's Heart is a minor settlement, eh? The more rockets, they're going to get in the way. They're going to get in the way of cinematic battle, if that is in fact what's causing it. But, you know, interestingly enough, only the 2 armies with the Hellstorms are the ones that are having problems right now. So I think it's correct. So I think regardless of the fact that it is a high veterancy unit, we're going to delete and we're going to revive it, probably in Elspeth's army. Currently she has the only Hellstorms, or we could take them out of Elspeth's army together to give us maybe cinematic battles. I mean, this is a test. At the end of the day, we can revive one with the schematics we have if if it doesn't work. So,
My decision
delete.
will be correct.
Sorry, more rockets. We will not actually replace you. And besides, the Hellstorm rockets are an absolute crutch. You know what we will do for this army, though? We will definitely replace the Nuln Ironsides with Amethyst Ironsides. I'm not even sure that we really need the Hawkland long rifles here. They do have heckin' range, but on the other hand, I'm not sure we're going to keep too many of them in any other armies other than this one and Elspeth. So, yeah, anyway. Hawkland's Heart.
If they're wise,
Away we go.
they will surrender.
And what do we have here? Close victory. They've got a little bit in the way of defenses, but it is a minor settlement, and Danny Boy is in there. Let's see how Gotrek and Felix fare against him in a moment. I wanted to check whether we have any points available to either of them, but we do not. I also gotta swap out the items on you, sir. I might give him the items that, the special items from... Elspeth's Engineer, though I think that reduces upkeep of gunnery units, and that should go into a full gunnery army, which this very much is not. Anyway.
If I can craft the finest of machines, I can command you, rabble. Fear not, you are safe in my hands. Watch for the stern tower.
Mechanical steeds are so adorable. Anyway, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see if the desync persists in this army now that the Hellstorm rocket battery is out of the picture. Anyway, we've set this up so that we can fire essentially up 2 ramps here. Though we will start off with the MORGHUR and the other unit of Nuln and Void, I believe. Yes, and the other unit of Amethyst Outriders moving up here with a little bit of support fire from mortars, and this is going to look very, very ugly for those demons. These guys are absolutely fantastic at clearing mobs of demons like this, magical damage and all that explosions. All that, that made no sense. And all those explosive grenades. Very, very nice. And it looks like the Bloodletters are already pretty much out. The Blue Horrors are damaged, and I'm sure we can give chase to them and dish out more. More. Anyway, out here we have the enemy Sandgors still taking a pounding from the cannons, so it looks like only the Hawklanders are now in range, but that's more than enough to knock those Sandgors out. They are going to then hide behind, by the looks of it, these walls, so we will have to advance forward a little bit. Alright, continuing to fire from those Outriders, doing fantastic work. Looks like a unit of Blue Horrors is crumbling away just as those Bloodletters did, and the second unit of Blue Horrors will probably follow suit shortly. Very, very nice. Nasty pieces of work, those Outriders, and on top of the magical damage they cause disorientation, which reduces enemies' speed as well. It's lovely. Anyway, they're gonna move up here just to try to get a volley on these Sandgors, but it looks like they will back away behind the barricade here. And oh, we see the chromatic aberration. Oh, these are the Sour Guts. Sour Guts here. Regiments of Renown, actually looking pretty nice. They're nice and purple looking, which I guess will help them fit in with all the amethyst grenades I'm sure they'll eat. Out here we've moved forward a teensy bit just to get a little bit more range for our cannons and Hawkland long rifles, and it looks like the enemy continues backing off to where we can't quite fire upon them, but that's the nature of some of these minor settlement fights. I'm gonna speed it up a teensy bit as it's time to get Gotrek and Felix into the fight, but we can probably break the barrier from the weird spawn here. Oh, the weird spawn. They have 16 units, huh? I got really used to the SFO version of the weird spawn, which have only a single really big chaos spawn. That's quite a nice unit at that. But I'm sure these guys are pretty good too, but I do love all the differences with Chaos Spawn that SFO offers. It makes all 4 of the Chaos Spawn very different from each other, and it's lovely for variation in the, or variety in Chaos armies. Anyway, Gotrek moves forward. It's time to knock some of these weird spawn out, and maybe even bait Daniel into a fight as he is still hanging around up here. We're going to ignore the spawn with the grenades as best we can and get a few more volleys into the Marauders behind them. as frankly the grenades probably won't do too much damage to the spawn. Out here the Nuln Ironsides have moved in and are gunning the enemy down, daring them and to charge them. And these are the non-amethyst variety perhaps, but they still do pretty darn massive damage. 91 armor piercing, or well I guess 91 isn't really the armor piercing, but 91 damage with 174 range. Very, very solid, and 70 armor as well. Alright, sorry Pink Horrors, I'm sure you would die much quicker if these were Amethyst Outriders, but you're dying plenty quick enough for me. Out here it looks like Daniel has been baited in and is in a rampage. As well, he's got tons of debuffs on him, dropping his melee attack down to a mere 31, though he does still hit very hard for 1.1k. Weapon strength. Gotrek and Felix have used all of their buffs and are going to try to take on the Demon Prince together without... Okay, looks like some other units are going to try to interfere. We can try to clear the other units away so that these two can continue to duel. Or these three, I guess. The Screamers and the Marauders should fall fairly quickly to the grenade volleys. While Gotrek and Felix continue working on Daniel in the middle of the fray, who is now down to about half of his HP. Not so bad. Obviously the grenades aren't doing any damage to him, and it looks like he's actually managed to separate Gotrek and Felix. Probably the smart idea, having the units of Plague Drones distract Gotrek, who's a much bigger threat, while he tries to go after Felix. Not that his stats are bad, mind you. But he does have a tendency to this. I think of this as the Grimgore problem. I always remember how disappointed I was in Total Warhammer 1 many a year ago, back when I was young. The way that Grimgore was like this, like Felix is, he didn't have enough resistance or mass to resist charges or anything. So basically any monster and any lord with a mount, anything with a mass would just constantly knock Grimgore down. This isn't the case anymore, as Grimgore is basically impossible to stagger at this point. But back then it was certainly really unfortunate to see. Anyway. Looks like Felix has been pinned to the wall here, but it looks like the Furies have been distracting Mr. Daniel. We're going to send in our melee units as well now, our Knights of the Black Rose, just to try to help Gotrek out of the press so that he can join and knock Hygast out. Alright. A great use of those Plague Drones from the AI, though. Accidental or not, I appreciate it. Otherwise, out here, the enemy has been pretty much cleared by our ranged coterie, and they've taken no damage, as the enemy never got to close the distance with them. And now it's time to knock Daniel out. That Gotrek is back in the fray. Oh, and he gets knocked down just like Felix does as well, though. Alright, and we're down to about a quarter of Daniel's HP. But I don't imagine he stands much of a chance against these guys. Magical damage on both of them as well. And I wonder if this will be the last time we see him. Hey. Outriders, you're not needed here. They're probably moving to attack something else, but I guess it doesn't matter all that much, as this guy has low enough HP that he begins to crumble, and with the next hit from the famous Slayer, will get knocked out. Oh, lovely. Alright, looks like Ulrika won't get here by the time, well, to see this particular faction destroyed, but that's alright. Alright, Fury is dropping around those Knights of the Black Rose as they have entered the fray against the Plague Bearers and Furies and Sandgores alike, and I think this is a little bit more interesting in terms of fight than watching the Gunners just obliterate everything in their path. Not that I don't really love gun armies, because I really, really do. But these guys are really nice as well. And the Knights of the Black Moor look... The Black Moor? Knights of Morr. No, wait, these are Knights of the Black Rose. I can combine them into two. Alright, well, either way, it looks like the enemy is pretty much done here, as the Knights of the Black Rose have cleared their way. Looks like there is a barricade up here with 6,000 HP, and we don't have any spells to drop upon it, so we're going to have to knock it down the old-fashioned way, but that's alright. Gotrek and Felix now leading the charge into the Plague Bearers here, as the Plague Bearers do have to get knocked out. and they are much more threatening than the blue horrors and the other things to the Knights of the Black Rose. Looks like the... Oh, and it looks like with that, the enemy army will actually shatter. I mean, granted, this entire portion of their... Hey, stop that. Sour gets a field away to get a few volleys into our Nuln Ironsides, but by the looks of it, their missile strength is only 5 armor-piercing missile damage, and it's not enough to kill off units of the Ironsides, at least not quickly. Anyway, with that, the battle is ours, and a pretty systematic victory. It says close, but I disagree. Alrighty, very nice. It may have been a minor settlement battle, but we were systematically able to destroy everything inside it, and at the same time, unlike Elspeth versus MORGHUR, get basically our entire army to play. Lots of damage on the Knights of the Black Rose, and they still kept their HP with the Swords of Midnight this time around, taking the greatest number of kills. Plenty of damage in the Nuln Ironsides as well, slash kills, 182, 224, 130, at least on these three, or on these 3 units. Oh, one of the Nuln. Oh, this one was guarding the other units, and one of the Hochland long rifles did decently as well. Cannons, funnily enough, it didn't do too well, but it's a minor settlement, so cannons aren't really the best thing to have in them. Anyway, close victory for us. We're going to loot and occupy, as we will trade it anyway. Mission successful, I completely forgot about that. Then we got, yes, attrition reduction from all attrition, which is quite nice. Magic item job chances on Ibn Pfeiffer, sure, and at rank 20, you just got your steam tank, sir. And Barber Surgeon, hello. What did we... Looted a settlement with a large army. Huh. Okay, we need to loot some more settlements. We could really use some barber surgeons everywhere. But yeah, you're on your steam tank now, which is very nice. I decided to go with ballistics instructor for him, but we may do the firebomb grenade launcher in the fire army because, well, I mean, it's obvious. Stand your ground. Next, you do have Knights of the Black Rose in your army, meaning taste for battle will work for you as well. It's a nice little combined force. It does like melee infantry, but we'll build at least one army that is a little bit more built around great swords, and then we'll have a sort of faith army with maybe some witch hunters and flagellants and something else. I haven't decided on what. I don't want to repeat the army compositions of my other campaign, so I also would like to make the fire army at least a little bit different. But if we get the fiery dwarf units in there, we won't have room for any other type of constructs. I'll think about it. Anyway, let's continue. Andreas Ludenhauer. You know what? It's probably faster just land at Castle Alexandrinov than go all the way around to Erengrad. I'm actually not 100% sure on that, but, well. You, please work. 11% get wounded. Yeah, this is not gonna work. Well, it's a failure, but he didn't die, so there's that. Broken X, nearly broken. 1 settlement remaining to them. I was hoping to grab Bordelot, but that looks like it's no longer needed. But you know what? As main Kuhan faction has it, that's not the worst thing in the world. Constructor Zintler, you were waiting for your fire whiz, and for now, I guess you can channel for your army. Andreas Meyer, you will be needing to recruit other things, but we're waiting for Nuln to get to tier 4. Now, we could recruit some Hellblaster Volleyguns to some army. Oh, we could also recruit some stuff that would be in Elspeth's army for her eventual retrofit when she comes back here. Although I haven't completely decided on what it's gonna be, and I do know for a fact... What do you do again? Oh! Wait. Disoriented is another speed reduction. A moment. Wait. I just got an idea for an army. Disoriented is speed reduction similar to the War Wagons. The regular war wagons. Then we have dazed on these guys, which is also speed reduction, and then we have suppressed on certain steam tanks. That could be combined with Ice Guard Frost. Kislev? Yes, okay, wait. It's it's all coming together. Give it a minute. I want to see Iron Drakes. Alright, I was originally... Okay. I originally put these 2 Nuln Ironsides in this army because they would eventually be replaced by Iron Drakes, but now they can just be you know what, I probably should have just transferred them, but I got excited. You are going to recruit the 2 Iron Drakes from the Masters of Innovation, who probably need an upgrade to their... still haven't taken Krakadraka. I am upgrading the Empire District there. Okay, good. Next, we need flame cannons. Oh, you don't have enough to... I guess if these guys are being built already... Do we have access to flame cannons? Correct, Kadrin. You have gyro bombers, so you're heading towards the big boys, the Thunder Barges. Zufbar, I see that you have Iron Drakes, but they also cost a pretty penny. Kuran, no. Karazakarek. Your Iron Drakes also cost twice as much. If we declare war on Skarbrand, they would sharply lose their price. Well, only if we declare war on Skarbrand and these guys actually join. I'm a little bit wary of inviting allies, though. Who are you at war with now? You were at war with a nobody. Oh, you might be able to be willing to do that sort of thing. You're gonna have to get into a war with somebody, and it's not like the Badlands are of any use to us. Right now, the problem is if we go down to... I mean, we will go down to Skarbrand, but... Alright, Elspeth, you can take Nuka next turn, you can teleport next turn. Teleport where, you ask? We could do Sartosa, but it's actually so close that there might... Yeah, you know what? You know what? We're probably better off going by sea, grabbing the Skull Reef, and then either teleporting to Akendorf or just landing in Skarbrand's territories, which means we got to wait for the flame cannons, which is why I was taking a look at all that. If you're wondering why I don't want to take the flame cannons out of Karazakarek, it's because we have a decent amount of allegiance with them saved up, and I want to use that up on the Thunder Barges. I'm almost tempted to build a couple of gyro bombers while we wait, though. Because they work pretty nicely, they would work pretty nicely as well with the army, and it's not like 4 Thunder Barges. It might be a little bit overkill. I'll think about it. Gyro bombers are really fun as well, and they have suppression on them as well. There's also the gyrocopters with brimstone guns. Man, we need to be able to bump this up to 6 at least. Or there should be some research for certain factions that allow it, or like Empire, for example. I'm sure they would be more inclined towards coalition forces, but anyway, let's keep moving. I'm getting distracted and salivating at the thought of newer armies. You can wait. Technologies. Now, Swords of the Empire will give us the caliber great swords for our melee armies. Noble Sons Abroad and Bordermen are both nice, but the Bordermen are outclassed now by the Amethyst troops. Not that they're bad, we could combine two. We have Knights of Morr, which we do need, but at 7.5k I think we can skip a turn or so of doing that and get something else instead. And that something else shall be... I guess ordnance canisters. At only 2 turns, I feel like we should... Ooh. And then we have the mass and speed for steam tanks and land ships. Oh, and the Luminarchs. I forgot I wanted to put a Luminarch, at least one, in Zintler's army, which I guess is going to be the Templehof Luminarch. Delete you. And, I mean, I guess we could get this next turn, so we save the 400 gold. We can't build regular Luminarchs right now, so that means we have to hold off on everything else. Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. Build regular Luminarchs, I mean. And let's do building. Once again, start from the bottom. What do we have here? Plane of Illusions, no income. Icetooth Mountains, Packy Bay, no income. Forest of Gloom, yes income. Damn, Tailor's Guild, you're expensive. Griffinwood, you are also gonna get the Tailor's Guild at the ludicrous expense. And I guess we'll need to build the tap rooms in both of these locations. Especially if we want to keep collecting the income there. And then if we upgrade them again, we'll use them for forges and other things that give us capacities of various kinds. Alright. Western Border Princes. Yes, Myrmidons, Imperial Harbor. And, damn, Pottery versus Tailor's Guild. A lot more money out of the Tailor's Guild, but more trade goods, and we are a trade faction. Our trade is more than half of our building income. Which is not so bad. Alright, fine. Go for the pottery for now. Even though we have... Wait, do we have pottery somewhere? Because if we don't... I know, I'm not gonna search for it. Hackendorf, build the Tailors Guild. And you will need the pastures as well, but you can only get them once we have cash to drop on it, which we don't right now. Skip, and... Did I forget anything? If I did, it's too late now. Wait, Confederation check. I haven't done one in like 2 turns. Actually, Reichland is surprisingly getting closer to it. Military alliance with the Great Orthodoxy near. Western Border Prince is also near. They're still dropping. Do we have Vision of Gelt yet? No. If we could just get that defensive alliance with them, we would gain Vision of Gelt and possibly confederate him and then start helping out in Cathay. Alright, you know what? We will join your war against... Probably the Blessed Dread Clan Krizor. Who the heck is Clan Krizor? Some minor Skaven clan? I don't know who this is. I don't remember a Clan Krizor. Huh. I'm gonna have to look it up now. Should be a little blurb about each individual faction here, but there isn't one. I also don't know where these guys are, but I guess it's irrelevant. Join war against Clan Krizor, sure. 10. Huh, just out of curiosity. Eschen is 10.2, and Blessed Dread is 11.5. Alright, we'll do Krizor. And Military Alliance. And you can give us money. Yes. Alright, this gives us Vision of Gelt. How is Gelt doing? Well, he likes us. He doesn't like us enough to confederate. He has a -90. Oh, he's doing better than I thought he would. Golden Order. Let's be friends. Non-aggression pact. Wow, you won't do the trade agreement. Alright, that's fine. That's fine. We'll just be friendly like this. And do we take their money? Frankly, making them weaker will eventually, hopefully, lead them to confederating, so yes. Let's do that. Alright, anybody else that we got vision out of? Boris Ursus, really want to get close to that non-aggression, but we got a lot of territory to trade you, which I'm sure we'll get all of this for, so we don't really have to pay you or anything. Camry is remaining relatively friendly, though if they get into a war with Réponse de Lyonesse, then it probably is a bad idea. As we probably would rather ally with Réponse. And frankly, I mean, there's a few Bretonnian units I'd like to build as well. Probably more so than the Tomb King units, as they don't quite mesh with our armies nearly as well. Though in my Morr army in my Empire campaign, I did want the Necro-Sphinxes. And we do still have to get the Knights of Morr. Actually, speaking of,
So many ideas.
what do we have now here? Wait. We have the Gunderman Surefires, and we're still waiting on the rest. Alright, we don't have the money for anything else, though. We have a little bit. And maybe a money building somewhere? Somewhere where it's lacking. Eckendorf, not a money building, but pasture, yes, for more growth in the place, and the main territories of our empire, or interior imperial territories, don't need upgrades. Alright. Yeah, it's really important how much money we're making from trade at nearly 12k. Just to compare it to the Kuget, or not Kuget, Maggot Lord campaign, Tamarkan campaign. The interesting aspect there is that the economy lacks that trade aspect, and even though we have, I think, more territory than I have here, the economy is weaker. But anyway, was going to build something... Griffinwood, no. Forest, no. Erengrad, no. We do need to upgrade the defenses even further here, so I guess tall walls. For Myrmidon, so we don't want it to suddenly fall to Scarbrand. Although I'm sure they'd have a tough time dealing with him if he did come a Colin. Carnath. You're not gonna besiege us, are you? No. Coward. Alright. Alright, keep on going. Gotta link up with Boris and trade him stuff before it all rebels.
I have torn myself.
Thoric. I know, Thoric, I know. I'm sorry, buddy, but it looks like you're dying, so... we may not want to throw our lot in with you. I'm also curious, once all of the enemies around have been destroyed, War Fervor for 1,500 money? It's only for 3 turns. No. Caravan arrived, free money, ally begins outpost, graced incantation of Star. You're gonna grab Nuka, maybe we should have kept this guy around after all, whatever. And then you're gonna go grab for the Skull Island and try to head towards Scarby. Alright, there we go. Toboro, I don't know how we're gonna get you, but we're gonna give it a try later on. Let's upgrade these. I should have done Magritta last turn. Can we get any... How could we get Tobaro from yet? Minus 9.2, it's not so bad. If only we could declare war on another faction. Yeah, so here's what I'm nervous about. And... Is this hero still here? Does he have his guard up still? No. Try him again. Don't fail, don't fail, don't fail. Ah, come on, come on. The faction might be destroyed next turn. Oh, well. Oh, what's a shame. I just wanted the rewards. I mean, it's not a big deal, but, yeah, what I'm concerned about is this. Once these guys have killed off the Broken Axe, and Bretonnia has returned to the wild, they will be at war with nobody, meaning there's a decent likelihood that they attack Karakazor and destroy the clan Angron Dwarfs, and possibly Karakern as well. Granted, we're not allied, really, with either one of them. At least no defensive alliance, but the concern about this is, if they take this and this, they could push on towards Zufbar, who we are very much allied with, and who are building some good stuff that we want to get from them. Which is a concern, but anyway, we'll have to deal with that if we have to deal with it. Balderic, you are hurt. I would like you to land and heal, though I think... these poor war wagons. Huh. It's interesting that there's only one, despite the fact that there's... Oh, I guess it has to go past 50% to get the second one. Darn. We have military access with you. What I'm thinking about is we need to heal. Do you have that healer, man? Not Woodsman. Not Tollkeeper. Oh, I didn't give you a scribe. I should have given you a scribe. We need a new messenger we don't have anymore. Not charcoal burner, not burger or bailiff. All that public order is great. Do any of the standards have any value to yet? We don't really need the speed standard because you don't need to be faster than the other stuff in your army. Yeah, by the looks of it now. What we could do, though, is... We could give, since Andreas Meyer is currently acting as a recruiter, we could give him the Tollkeeper and the Woodsman just to buff up the money, make it had a Nuln, a teensy bit. It's not gonna be much, but it's fine. You, sir, enter the army.
Summon speed. So many ideas.
Oh, looks like we won't need to help with these guys after all, so then I guess the question will remain as to where we send the Fire Force. Crossbows and great cannons and... Wait.
Imperial Scholar.
I forgot about the Luminarch. One turn until another Emperor's Wrath as well. Alright, Luminarch, I guess you can get on in here. Gonna be a while before we upgrade the rest of this stuff, and the flame cannons and whatnot can be recruited wherever we are. Alright, Luminarch, 'tis time. There we go. Alright, army is starting to come together. Lots of the Knights of the Blazing Sun, the war wagons should work nicely, at least until they are replaced by Sutsun's guns, and the great cannons until they are replaced by the flame cannons. Alright. Could send you to Lustria, could send you to help the elves, though they're not doing so bad. We could try to send you to Conquato, though I was going to send the landships there, but I guess if they're going this way, and then you might be able to go north, which is, I guess, where we're going to send you. Alright, and northward, here you go. Next. Who else needs to move? You, sir. Keep going. Ulrika, guess what? Keep going. Constructors enough. Andreas Meyer. Do you need to recruit anything right now? Give it some time. Give it some time. Eben, you cannot reach the next place here. Karnath is here. I guess we'll resolve the Tower of Flies real quick and hope that it doesn't damage us too heavily. I'm excited to see your steam tank in action, but for now we'll loot and occupy the place and get a free sword of anti-heroes. Damn, yeah, this place is gonna rebel at the Forest of Decay. And we still can't trade it to Boris, can we? Can we? No. And we need to take this. If they rebel next turn, would they attack it immediately is the question. We'd have to loop back around. Can't trade it to anybody else, can we? Funnily enough, we could trade it to Malice. But does that give us anything? Huh. Actually, wait, I have an idea. Bilious Cliffs, 16. Forest of Decay, 0.2. Wait. These are relatively worthless territories right now, and we're going to get into a war with him. And yes, this is gifts given which some of our allies won't like. but we can counteract that by attacking them. And 7,000 gold for a territory that we'll retake isn't so bad.
By all rules.
I still feel like paying for territory shouldn't count as a gift. Minus 29 from those gifts given. It is quite a bit. But it is only these two that don't like it, and we're already in military alliances with them. So that probably doesn't matter all that much. How is the Forest of Decay? How much is it worth to you now?
Men will always be slaves to the Druki.
No, it's not worth anything. Damn. Alright, well, you just get the bilious clips. I was hoping. Can anything here be built in one turn? Alas, it cannot. Alright, well, whatever. I don't care enough to probably loop back around, at least not yet until we get into a fight with him. Though I'm sure he's happy about the free territory. It comes with secret strings attached. Anyway, Balderic, back to you, sir. And me trying to figure out where to send you. Do we replenish at sea in any way? Oh, we do. In fact, we replenish more at sea than we do not at sea. So you're going to head out here. And then you can grab these islands while on the way to Conquata, and oh, you're either going to have to land or we're going to have to transfer another Emperor's Wrath to you for your fourth and last steam tank. Huh. Okay, well, we'll have to wait on that. Also, you can go into March stance, get a little bit closer to this shipwreck. Alright, good. We're good to end the turn, minus the building. Alright, I was hoping for one more battle here, but not one available yet. Marienburg nearly ready for a confed. Oh, that would be just swovely. The Drowned want peace and are willing to pay us quite a bit for it. I noticed that the World Walkers are still alive. Please kill them. They'll make us do it for you. Golden Order. Yes to military access. If they lose their main army, Gelt would be ours. Middenland, you can do trade agreement over Illyrian. Probably still. Still gotta maintain friendliness. Because we don't have the military alliance with them, and it's part of our win condition here. Anyway, building time. Alright, a little bit of admin, but we already had 2 battles, and maybe we can find a third. Sartosa. Yes to the Imperial Harbor. We can't get the Smithy's Tavern, though we already have the Peg Street Pawn Shop, orchards, and defenses. Most definitely. And since you're growing rather slowly by yourself, you can get the landed estate. Collect the income. Actually, wait, you don't have the... Oh. I built the Shrine of Sigmar to delete the corruption here, but we can delete it for now and replace it with a money-making building, since we'd love to collect the income here. And I think the landed estate can wait.
Amethyst.
Yeah. Alrighty, that's you. Middle Mountains. Brass Keep, you can start collecting income now as well. I think you've deleted enough of the Nurglite corruption, so as to not be a concern. Build a Tailor's Guild, though, as well as the Die Maker, and we'll keep the Shrine of Sigmar at least for now, as it keeps counteracting all that nonsense. Miragliano definitely deserves an upgrade, and we need defenses at Rifrafa, as well as the upgrades to the farms at Rifrafa and Lucchini. Plains... wait. Tilea, are you able to collect? You are able to collect more money. More money, more armies. Stalia, not yet. Not ready. Packy Bay needs to be traded to these guys. If we declare war on Malice, I wonder if we can trade them this in order to get them to fight him. I think we'll keep it just for that particular purpose. The rest of this is fine. This is going to be traded, so we don't care. Forest of Gloom and Griffinwood irrelevant. Terengrad, you are collecting income, but you will be a while until you grow. Let's get the pottery up and running here, and let's upgrade our Gallus and Zvorak. Get those defenses up in the border princes. Akendorf, you can have those livestock pens, and Akendorf already making decent cash despite the lack of another trade guild, or guild, whatever, clothier there. Alright, that's all of our money. Skip. Imminent Rebellion, that's up in the north in the Chaos Waste, so we don't care in turn. A Legion of Chaos. We've certainly pretty much broken their armies. Onward to the Port of Secrets. The place where the Jartrum clans throng made landfall at the Chaos Waste in the Malachi campaign. What do we have here? Well, this was always going to happen. I'm going to say don't call allies to... The thing is, what I really don't want to happen is dwarven factions or some of the important factions to say no. Because when the AI does this, it screws you over completely. Don't call allies to help. We'll ask Kislev to join the war. Because somebody has to hold their territory. And they've taken some Norscan territory as well. And this is why I wanted to hold Packy Bay. Alrighty, Rebellion and the Noisome Tumor. United against us? Yeah. And this guy's besieged the place because it looks like he can't attack immediately. We could actually go over there and save it, rather than hitting the Port of Secrets. And then loop back around, I guess. And we just traded you a settlement. Alright, fine. You're gonna go right here.
Onwards, there is much to do.
Technology researched. Hey, more power for our land ships and steam tanks and whatnot. Yep. Auto-resolve. Wait. Okay. I had to check. And take the money. Now, you're not able to enter this so you can avoid attrition, are you? You are. Yeah, now we need more armies here, because we have to go in 2 directions unless Boris wants to be a little bit more helpful, which I'm not sure that he does. I would like you, Serena Catrin, to declare war on Malice after you take Troll Fjord, so hopefully you will. You know what, maybe we wait a turn. Packy Bay for 100? Very nice. She will definitely join the war against Malice for that. Yeah, alright, hold on to it for the turn. I just don't want her to redirect the main army here so that she actually takes Troll Fjord. That seems like the way to do it. Elspeth, you're moving now. If Mad Mullon attacks, yeah, that's his funeral. And you're going to the Skull Reef and then on towards Scarbrand's territories to help our dwarfen allies in the Badlands. Baldric Zintler, you got a couple of islands to really quickly grab and then head onward towards Bellicor. Though how damaged you're going to get by this remains to be seen. Yeah, the Auto-Resolve doesn't seem to like the war wagons either, does it?
Our strength is bolstered.
Especially the regular war wagons. The mortar war wagons seem to be relatively okay. Well, what can you do? Mechanical steed for Wolfgang and more money for you, and stay in the Healy part of the southern Sea of Chaos. I'm honestly kind of tempted to give him the casualty or punishment guy rather than the other army. If only I could remember what his name was. It wasn't Ferryman or Coachman. Camp follower, Burger, Bone Picker, Barber Surgeon. Zanev and Pfeiffer. Yeah, give it to you. You're gonna need it, because if the auto-resolve keeps hurting the war wagons, and we are going to keep war wagons in this army, and then that's the way to do it. Fire Army! And the beginnings of it anyway. It's time for you to travel, and go out to the River Reich and set sail. You've got to date with chaos, and you've got to set it afire. We have... oh. What I should have done? I should have popped the other tank in the fire army temporarily. I guess we could still do it. Alright. You, I guess, will recruit nothing else this turn, then. Get the Last Emperor's Wrath, the 4th and final one, for that, well, the 4th and final one for that army, though I probably won't build any more because we have enough of them. Get rid of a crossbow. Not like they're super important. And you can't quite reach the army, but you can transfer them next turn. Also, this is something usually I do between the episodes, but I was just looking for another fight to fight. War with the Beards. Ties that bind, yeah, ignore all that. Ulrika, you've nearly reached the place. I was gonna have you go to the Port of Secrets, but now they've peeled away a little bit, but, guess you can land at the Tower Flies instead. Andreas Ludenhauer, you're nearly there as well. Though you'll replace a good engineer with you, which is a not leveled engineer. Assassinate. Yes, yes, free Talisman of Preservation. And the Diplo with Marienburg. Well done, Richter. For that, we are going to keep you and put you into the Faith Army. Lovely. And Orion, you actually lost at the Massive Forecal. Huh, go figure. And he didn't sack it because the Greenskin Stronghold is still a tier 5. Impressive. I'm going to need you all to actually kill these guys off lest they come for our new and undefended territories in the south, though. Next up, technology. We completed the improved piston tech. Ooh, ballistic plating for steam tanks. Encourage, I don't really care about encourage for steam tanks and land ships. I mean, it's a nice idea, but it's not really something that's needed. I do like the air protection for the Luminarchs, that we haven't put them in a lot of armies. Certainly potential for it, but it's not critical. Experience for all spellcasters might not be a bad idea. Spell resistance for all armies. I'm just taking a look at what else we want. We need more research. We need more forges to get more research. Armor for, you know what? Armor for infantry units includes all of our missile infantry and the missile resistance. I think that's the one we go for next.
What are we if we do not?
Alright, I know you guys have been telling me in the comments to grab Wolfheart, you know, if he's still alive out there, which remains to be seen. And we'll get the technology for that shortly. Assuming we can't just recruit somebody here, and by the looks of it, we cannot. Alright. Diplomacy check. Confederation, 11.7 on Marienburg. They can do a defensive alliance now, which I guess we'll do. Thank you. Appreciate it. Armbro Kemery, how is Ursus looking? He's still okay. Sorry, Thorek. Still sorry. But it's still a problem on you. Man, our Order Tide is doing quite well. It's turned 64. Not only is the Empire clear, but everything around the Empire, nearly everything around the Empire, is clear in this sort of first circle. If we take a look at the Empires, like a help it sort of situation, with the Empire main central territories here, then the next circle, which is Norska and the surrounding mountains, followed by Bretonia and then the Chaos Wastes and stuff. And we're doing pretty darn good. Alright. Pretty happy with that, and I guess, okay, another turn of building and ending the turn. Alright, if we don't get another battle after this, then we'll end the episode. But hey, we're moving outward, and not fighting with old armies isn't necessarily a bad thing, as it'll give a chance for our newer armies to shine shortly, which ain't bad, as I said. Anyway, you go for that Weaving House. Forest of Gloom, not priority. Middle Mountains. You want to build another engineer's workshop, but at the extra cost because of this is an unpleasant climate, I think we'll hold off. We got better stuff to invest in at the current time. Lucini and Rafrafa, you need upgrades so that you can be walled up. Salzenmund, right, the one I cancelled earlier in the episode. Let's uncancel ya. Town for you, and Eckendorf, keep building those tall walls. That's nearly all of our cash as well. Feildorf, Foundry. Kappelberg, you are good. Until we get Talabayam, there's nothing to upgrade here. I mean, yes, there's capacities to build, but they're not super critical either. At least not right now. And Beckhofen. Yes, Foundry. What we also need to take a look at... no new engineers, at least no new good ones. We need to keep an eye on the Witch Hunters, which are going to be in our Flagellant army. And we should... You know what? Cunning Empire Captain. It's time to start on the all-cavalry army led by Bruckner as well. We may as well give Guardian to you. And melee upkeep. Ooh, and buffs for cavalry. Alright, we can have you guys lead some cav. I like it. I like it very much. And we are friendly with Kuran, meaning we could potentially get some Pegasus Knights to round out the cavalry. Just gonna have to build the Empire District there. Alright. Time to build the cavalry army, which means next turn, Andres Meyer will return to Nuln and then start recruiting more demigryphs, as well as other things, since we have the livery here. And I guess we'll get the upgrade for the Knights of Morr, which will combine with Knights of the Black Rose as well in that army. With the demigryphs, with some landships, with some hopefully Pegasi and Empire Captains, and led by Bruckner. And we can transfer him and stuff from Elspeth's army once she's ready to teleport back to Nuln via her gardens and more. Alright, that's the plan, and I should have been saying all that nonsense while the turn was ending, rather than ranting away, and nothing was happening on screen. My bad. I always get excited by the new armies. But I like the idea that in this particular campaign, they're going to be sort of expeditionary forces to territories outside of the Empire, as we've essentially shored up our borders. Also gotta check the victory conditions. What we got here? Battle deployment. Mad Mullon will attack us. Oh, you Mad Mullon. Yes.
These helpless fools will soon cower in fear. For who could stand against the oncoming tide of death itself?
Alrighty, here we go. We wanted a battle, and it looks like Mad Mullon was just mad enough to provide, and I'm very happy for it. He thinks perhaps that because weren't we in full speed stance? Huh. Maybe it's the replay showing that all of our units are fresh, but it doesn't really matter because, well, the enemy army is going to have to approach under fire from all that artillery. Elspeth's going to duel the enemy Chaos Frost Dragon up in the air, dropping a Spirit Leech on it, and then having the Carmine Dragon duel the thing. Nice little dragon duel for the two, but of course Elspeth can continue dropping Spirit Leeches, so the enemy doesn't have a prayer. Our Outriders are going to try to focus down the single entities here, or single entity, in the form of the Mammoth, who has already been pretty darn bad shape. Great job to the standard Outriders. Oh, it looks like some armored skin wolves are trying to loop around, like wolf. And trying to get at those Outriders, but they run into gunfire from all those Ironsides instead. Bruckner still waits with the Royal Altar of Grippites in the center of the line, hoping that somebody is able to charge towards him, but, well, it looks like the only one that was able to was this Marauder Chieftain. Oh! This didn't happen, and the Mammoth was dead when I played it. Neat. There is some differences. Actually not neat. Wait. Not neat at all. This means that the desync still happens regardless of the fact that we deleted the Hellstorm rocket battery. No, wait. Wait, this is Elspeth's army. Okay, no. I freaked myself out there for a second. Right. Yeah, no, this is normal, guys. This is normal. Don't worry. I thought for a second that this was Gotrek and Felix's army because, yeah, the desync shouldn't be there anymore. Anyway, the Chaos Frost Dragon would have been dead by now, but the desync is causing it to remain alive, but it hardly matters, as most of the enemy army is done for. That's the Black Rose doing a charge that I don't remember, but that's fine. Probably trying to run down a unit of skin wolves or escaping enemies. Otherwise, the enemy just has to move in close enough to get gunned down, and that's what they're doing, and with gusto. There we go, and these are some Marauder champions as well, a little bit more resistant perhaps, but that's just so much gunfire. And those poor Norskins. They never stood a chance, did they? Anyway, Elspeth comes down, and ooh, that was a pretty nice volley from the rocket battery there, the Amethyst rocket battery, and the army of Mad Mullon has adequately sacrificed themselves for our entertainment. And did you just fire a bunch of rockets into this engineer? Wow. How to assassinate your boss on the battlefield. Anyway, I think the main difference in terms of what happened here was a few units charged towards us that didn't otherwise, and the other thing was we actually took a lot more damage on one of the units of Ironsides. Wow. This is just desync damage, just ignore it. One of the Ironsides units got hit very, very heavily with a couple of volleys from our own artillery. But otherwise, we're good. We've chased the enemy down, and the enemy army should, by and large, be destroyed. Alright, there we go. Mad Mullon once again. I didn't even realize he escaped. Whoops, I shouldn't have focused him down with Elspeth, but she was busy knocking that Chaos Dragon out of the sky and causing havoc to the enemy. Speaking of havoc, the enemy got not a single kill. 46 units were lost, primarily the Fuchsia Fusiliers in the center of our line, and that was all due to friendly fire from our own rocket batteries firing into their backs. But oh well. At the end of the day, it's not a big deal, and we can actually heal it to full, which we should do, I think. Just in case we can't heal at sea here. And there we go. Ally occupies settlement, which means World Walkers have been destroyed. Well done, friendos. They actually did it for us. With the battle that we were seeking actually found, we are out of time. And I'm gonna call the episode here. Next time, Elspeth continues on her way towards Skarbrand, and by the looks of it, we'll probably be able to reach him with decent ease as well, and we'll stop on by to grab that Skull Reef. I'm very excited to see how Skarby fares against us. Plus, the war against Malice has begun, and he's looking pretty solid, with 11 territories and lots of armies milling around. Okay. Probably going to try to move this way, but I think once again we'll want to knock out the Legion of Chaos first. Boris. It kind of make me nervous up here. I didn't want to use it, but I think we're going to tell you to occupy Crack-a-Drac because it's just starting to get irritating. Just do it. Ah, Boris. Oh, non-aggression pack. Good.
Is a friend. A toast.
Yeah, I'm really hoping he links up with us. But anyway, there's a lot more fun to come. The new armies are starting to move. The Fire Army is on field, and we've got the Faith and the Cavalry Army on the way. I also have another Gunnery Army planned out with lots and lots of fast-moving gun cavalry in combination with missile infantry as well. Maybe very little artillery, I'll think about it. The land ships and steam tanks in combo have also opened up some interesting stuff with fast moving. But anyway, more of that to come, so stay tuned for more Elspeth. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold, if you're into that sort of thing. All glory to the algorithm. Do we move here? I'll think about it. And thanks for watching.